Are you feeling stuck in your career? Like you're going through the motions day after day? Do you feel like you're just trapped in that job and it's just draining away your energy? Are you longing to do work that truly matters or that you feel will make a greater impact? I mean, do you feel like you were meant for something bigger and you aren't quite sure how you can connect the dots between your passions and your profession or making an impact in your personal life? If so, you're going to want to watch this video because today I'm going to share with you 10 steps. So 10 steps that are going to help you to transform your passions into purpose and make sure that they align with your career and with your deepest values so that you can go make a greater impact in the world. So whether you're just starting out in this sort of a process, you're starting out with personal development, professional development, maybe you're just getting started in your career, maybe you're considering some sort of a career change, or you simply want to infuse more of your values and what you aspire to into your current role, then this video is going to be for you. Now, my name is Jake Talbert, and I'm the founder and chief giver over at The Giver Method. If you're new here, let me just give you a quick rundown. The Giver Method, it's an acronym, and it's all about taking your gifts and your superpowers, identifying what they are, developing them in a way so that you can then identify the right people to have influence on and make that intentional and make it impactful to them. How do you take those gifts and superpowers and create value for them so that they see it in such a vividly clear way that you're doing it also in a way that you're providing the value without asking for anything in return? And then, of course, each engagement, interaction, discussion that you may have, they're showing up as eager as they want, or as they can be, to engage with you. And on top of that, like, they're super effective in what they're doing. What we found is that the outcome when people do that is it allows them to step into who it is that they were meant to be. It helps them to step into making a greater impact, whether that be in their personal life or their professional life. It improves what we call relationship riches. It gives you relationship riches, which is deeper connections in your relationships, whether that's with your spouse, your partner, your kids, your parents, your family, friends, coworkers, whatever it may be. You'll find deeper connections and that you are more aligned with where it is that you want to be and who it is that you want to become. The other thing that I've seen time and time again is when people develop their gifts and superpowers and they find the ways to give them without asking for anything in return. They infuse them into the work that they do on a daily basis. The universe has a way of paying you back. And that can show up in all sorts of ways. It's not that it happens every single time, but I've done this long enough to know that when people do that, it does have that impact where the universe pays them back. So I want you to step into who it is that you can become, and I want you to open up so the universe can pay you back based off of you taking these gifts, these superpowers, align them with your purpose, your passion, and finding the way to infuse them in what you're doing daily in your personal life or your professional life. Hopefully this topic is something that is transformative for you and gives you a new perspective on aligning your career and your values and turning your passion to purpose. So if we're ready to start working towards a much more fulfilled and purpose-driven life, career, whatever that thing may be, then let's dive in. Just before I dive into step number one, I do like to give people action items, things that you can go and implement, things you can go implement today, this week, this month, to immediately start seeing an impact towards those things. So you may want to grab a piece of paper, pull out a note, pull up something that you can type out so that you can be taking notes and writing down what the action steps are that you're going to do to help you to step into this purpose-driven life. So step number one, you need to identify your core values, okay? Core values, they're the foundation of any person who's trying to live a fulfilled life. It comes down to understanding your values. Your values, they are the principles that guide your decisions and your actions, in many cases without you realizing that you're making those decisions or how you're responding in the actions you're taking. They are an internal compass for you. It directs you towards what feels right and what feels authentic to you. So in order to come up with your core values, your action step here is that if you've never done that, take some time to reflect on what truly matters to you. And start to identify what values do you want to see or do you see as it pertains to that. And if you're thinking what truly matters to me, make sure you take it a couple steps deep and saying, like, at an emotional level, why is that? So for each value, ask yourself, why is this important? How does it show up in my current life, or how could it show up in my current life? Or how do I want it to show up if I want to create a desired future that I would like? And consider how these values might translate into your personal life or into maybe even like an ideal work environment, a career path, things along those lines, so that you can take this either professionally or personally. Now, you can also use things like journaling and meditation and visualization techniques to help you to dive deeper into what your values are. I always say reflect on your past experiences, like where you felt the most fulfilled and energized. Those tend to point towards the values you had present in those moments. Step number 2, really important with the giver method. Like I said, the G in giver is for gifts and superpowers. So number 2, you have to discover your gifts and superpowers. Everybody has a unique gifts and superpowers. In fact, I believe that at any point you should have 3 to 5 that you can pull out and use at any time, depending on the situation that you may be in. So everyone has them, and you can leverage them to achieve your purpose. So these are natural skills, talents, abilities that set you apart. They are essential to recognize, it's essential to recognize what these gifts are and embrace them without trying to compare yourself to others, because these gifts and these skills and these superpowers, they are unique to you, and the value you can create for others is so unique to you. So you cannot say just because one person's really good at deep diving into problem solving and coming up with making complex things seem simple, and you are too, you can't compare yourselves, because each of your backgrounds and where you're from and what you would do with that and how you want to make an impact is different. So don't compare yourself to others. The action step for this, or action items for this, is that you want to write down what are your top skills, what are your strengths that you have, including both hard skills, technical abilities, things like that, or soft skills, communication, leadership, empathy. Write them down. Start to formulate what you think they could be. You might want to ask some friends or colleagues what they see as your greatest strength. And then look for the patterns that come from that list. And that starts to point you towards the gifts that could evolve really well into being your superpower. So consider things like your hobbies, interests, what are things you lose track time of? What are the things that people come to you for the most of? You could also do things like personality assessments that are out there to help identify some pieces about you. But in reality, you should start to formulate and see what those superpowers are. And as you do, you're going to want to then move into step 3 as a part of that. So step 3, you need to explore your passions. So I have my gifts, superpowers, my passions, these things that I'm starting to see as my values. And you need to take those passions, because they're activities or causes that energize or excite you. So you need to explore what those passions are. They're often clues to where your purpose lives, where your purpose should go, or what it is that you want to do to make a greater impact. So action step here is to make a list of activities that you lose track of time on. What topics can you just talk about for hours if someone asked you? What issues in the world do you want to take action on? What are the things that you just want to go and battle and win for other people? And don't censor yourself. Write everything down. I found that in a lot of reflections, in a lot of things that people will do in journaling or different worksheets, oftentimes they're afraid to put something down. And I'm like, no, always write out all of them, because you'd be surprised how often when you start piecing things together that you're like, oh, that is actually way more important. That is way bigger than I thought it was. And I almost didn't write it down. So pay attention to what you are naturally gravitated towards. What do you like to do when you're in your free time? Consider other causes or issues that stir emotions in you, and that helps drive what that passion could be. Step 4 is that now that you have your values, your passions, gifts, superpowers, you need to find the intersection of them. So step 4 is to find that intersection of these things. Your purpose is going to lie at the intersection of your core values, your passions you have, and the unique gifts and superpowers that you offer. Think of it like a 3-circled Venn diagram where there's going to be some overlap. And where those places overlap, those are the sweet spots. So circle 1, circle 2 overlap, sweet spot, circle 2, circle 3 overlap, and circle 3, circle 1. And then the dead center, that's the really good spot. So that's where you want to be focused heavily in your decisions and the things you want to do in order to really find your purpose. The action step here shouldn't be surprising. I want you to create that Venn diagram. I want you to draw out those circles and label one as values, one as passions, one as skills, and write out what those things are, and then start to find what the alignment would be. How do I use values and passions? What are my values with skills? What are, each of those areas, and start to really hone in on what that could be. Reflect on past experiences you've had where you felt really fulfilled or energized, like what elements were present. Don't be discouraged if overlap isn't immediately clear. Like that truly can take some time and exploration and some reflection. So write them out, put the ones that make sense, and then put it away and come back to it the next day, or put it away and come back to it a few days later. But make sure that you're looking back on it, because you'll be surprised at how those overlap areas start to show up in your life, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. Step 5 is to set meaningful goals. Once you have clarity on your purpose, it is time to set some really meaningful goals that align with your core values and your passions. Use SMART goals or some sort of goal-setting framework to help you with that. Now, SMART goals, in case you're not aware, that's an acronym where it is for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So utilize those where it's super specific what you're trying to do. How can you measure it? Is it truly achievable? It's not out of like shooting for the stars. Is it relevant to what you're trying to do with your purpose, your passion, and such? And what are those time-bound check-ins that you're going to do along the way? So your action step with this is going to be to take that Venn diagram and set your first goal and make it a small one. Pick a goal that fits on that you can utilize the Venn diagram on, and set something a little bit smaller that aligns with those values and passions. Break down the goal possibly into smaller action items, and then set timelines for each of those, and hold yourself to them. Do all that you can. Maybe you want to find an accountability partner as a part of this, but you can visualize yourself achieving these goals to stay motivated. You can celebrate the progress. No matter how small of a win it is, you should celebrate every single one of them along the way to maintain momentum. Step 6, definitely going to be more in the professional world than maybe necessarily the personal world, but you want to identify a career path, whatever that may be, that is aligned with your values. Now, you have meaningful goals now, and it's time to look at that. What is your career plan? What is that path you're going down? Does it align with your values, your passions, your unique gifts? So if not, then your action step is to maybe research what some career paths could be that align with those things. Reach out to professionals in your desired field and look for, maybe interview them or gather some details from them on how they got started or where they would start to work down towards that sort of a career path. You could consider your gifts and your superpowers and how they can be applied in different career paths. You could look for roles that are in specific industries that align with your core values as well. Step 7 is to take inspired action. Taking action is where the real magic happens. You have to, scripture that is, faith without works is dead. Like, you have to have the works, you have to take action. So start small and gradually build up that momentum. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Consider this your permission slip to start taking action immediately. So your action steps here. Pick one small action you can take and that you could take this week and to move towards your goal, and do it. Just start doing it and start crossing those things off on your list. Now, you could be researching things, how to develop those gifts and superpowers. You could do that at thegivermethod.com or other videos that we have. You could reach out to people for some sort of interview or to pick their brain on things. You could propose projects at work that align with core values. Whatever those things may be, you should look at how you can embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and remember that a small step brings you closer. Any small step, any small action you take is going to take you a step closer to a purpose-driven life, a purpose-driven career, a purpose-driven whatever that may be, and you becoming who it is you're meant to be and making the impact that you're wanting to make. Step 8 is that you need to seek support, build a network, whatever that may be. So surrounding yourself with the right people is essential. Your friends you show up with say a lot about you. I recommend that you look for like a mentor or a coach, because they can provide you with some of the most amazing guidance. You could network with other like-minded individuals. You could create valuable connections based off of that. So your action step here is going to be identify someone who could maybe be a mentor for you and reach out to them. Maybe there's some networking groups or online things you could do, some online forums in your field of interest, so you can start gathering more info or getting to know other people who are in that industry. One important thing there is that when you're networking, you should really be looking for the ways that you can provide value to those people using your gifts and superpowers. I know that when I network that way, I always see such amazing returns based off of it. So network using your gifts and superpowers, and do it in a way that you don't expect anything back from them. Don't be greedy with your networking. Step number 9, you need to embrace failure. Failure is a learning opportunity. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. It is that slow step in the process. I always love when people do the quotes of like, Michael Jordan or whatever, where it's like, I missed X number of shots, I lost X number of games, whatever. It's like, and yet he's still one of the best basketball players ever. So view any setback, anything you may have, as opportunities to grow and learn. So action step here is reflect on maybe a failure you've had. Identify what were the lessons that you learned from it, and discuss these learnings with a mentor, a coach, or with a friend or family member, so you can gain some additional perspective on what has come because of that and how could you show up differently moving forward. Now, you have to practice self-compassion. You have to avoid self-criticism. You have to avoid the imposter syndrome that can get in your head and move past it. Your unique gifts and challenges They provide you the ability to approach anything in a much more innovative way that only you can. So don't miss out on that. Embrace the fact that you're gonna try out new things and they're not gonna work, and you're just gonna have to try again. That's why I keep recording videos. Not everyone's gonna be a hit, but I know that there are ones that are going to make a greater impact for people, and so I keep recording them. And step 10 is super important to me. It is commit to continuous learning and adapt along the way. If you want to really stay aligned with your values and your purpose, your passions, you have to commit to lifelong learning. You're never actually there. You never get there. It means you need to study, study on the topics that give you passion. You need to work on your gifts and superpowers. Once again, I said, typically you have got 3 to 5 that you can use at any time, but those 3 to 5 change as your life changes, as your skill sets change, as you find yourself wanting to make different impacts in different ways. It changes for you. So take 30 minutes. Your action step is to just take 30 minutes each day and work on learning something new. Learn something new given your path, the impact you want to make, or the path you've chosen career-wise. Maybe there's workshops, maybe there's books, maybe there's, thegivermethod.com and newsletters and the videos we put out. Like, there's all sorts of things you could do that can help you on that path and keep you in this continuous learning cycle. Look for any opportunity that aligns with your passion and values, and use your gifts, like those superpowers, to accelerate learning and growth where possible. And I said there were 10 tips, but I'm going to give you a bonus one. Embrace the journey. Remember that living this purpose-filled life, becoming who it is you're meant to be, making that impact, aligning career with purpose and such, it's a journey. It's not a destination. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be open to evolving and growing as you go. You have to believe in yourself. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in you that you can do this. So an action step for this would be a purpose journal. Start writing out what your purpose are. Reflect on how you've used gifts and superpowers, how you've aligned with your path that you're trying to be on. What could you have done better? And make commitments of what you're going to do next week or the next day to accomplish that. And use it as a way to celebrate wins or adjust course as needed. By taking these action steps and following these steps, you are truly laying the foundation in the bedrock of a purpose-driven, purpose-filled life or career or whatever that thing may be. The journey of alignment will not only lead you into greater personal fulfillment, but it's also going to allow you to make a greater impact on the world, both through your personal life and through the work that you're doing. Your unique combination of values and passions and skills and superpowers, like, they are unique to you, and the universe is waiting for you to realize that and for you to step out and start using them. And when you align those with your career, oh my gosh, you unlock so much potential to do extraordinary work that truly matters. So don't settle for a life that's not fulfilling. Don't settle for a job that doesn't ignite your soul. You have so much more to offer the world. If you truly want to do that and you want to amplify your impact, you want to create bigger ripples of change, you want to do more and see that purpose-filled life or career, then I'm going to invite you to come join the givermethod.com community. We've got the newsletter that's free. We've got blogs on there. We actually have a membership called Impact Makers that you could take a look at. But sign up for the newsletter. We'll give you updates. We'll give you insights. We'll give you tips on the journey towards impactful growth. We'll also make you the first people to know when the Giver Method book is being released, get you access to it, and help you to identify what those gifts and superpowers are so you can utilize them and create value, create unbreakable, deeper connections with people, and really enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Don't miss out on the chance to do this. I want you to start creating an impact. I want you to step into who it is that you were born to be. So check out the givermethod.com and join us along that path. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment what you thought about everything, share it with someone who may need it, because I know that you know someone who does, and that's a great way to give a gift to somebody else. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can check us out at thegivermethod.com and sign up for that newsletter. And until next time, keep growing, keep giving, keep working on making a difference and an impact in your world. Believe in yourself and step into who it is that the universe is waiting for you to become. Hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.